Hi everyone, this is Isabel, co-founder and creator of SIV, and this is the SIV Skin Microbiome series where we highlight the important role of the skin microbiome in healing stubborn skin conditions. Today we have Alexis Ang on the show. She has been a practicing esthetician for 6 years now, located in Vineyard, Utah. She has a special focus in corrective skincare, acne extractions, skin plans, and treatments, along with microneedling. She's a jack of all trades, this Alexis. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear this episode. She is awesome, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, and we are here with Alexis. Alexis, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. I know we've been talking about getting together and chatting for quite a while, so I was really excited to see you were doing these and happy to be here. Thanks.
Yes, long time coming for sure. Do you remember how you first found SIV? I feel like you found it a while ago. You were one of the beginning people to bring it on, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah, so I brought SIV on January of last year. So I hit a year in January. I think I was the first provider in Utah. I might be mistaken, but and I actually first saw it. I heard Kieran on a podcast somewhere, started following him about things, and then Jen Mills, I had seen some of her things too, and she was like posting about it. I saw that they were both like linked, and then I started following you guys and like seeing things. But that was kind of like my first interaction, and I kind of was just observing and watching, and Jen was really sweet and answered a few questions. I'm like, how did that work? And like, I remember she posted like an eczema one, and that was like, I've got to get this because my husband and my son and my daughter all have very severe eczema, allergies, and all these things. And so this is something that like actively outside of even my professional life is like a top priority for me. So I was like, I'm just going to take a risk. And I ordered 6 bottles and I've never looked back since. So,
oh my God, amazing. Yes. And I know, so your family does kind of struggle with eczema. You guys, Alexis is so sweet because she always sends me these cute voice notes of her daughter, like telling me that they love SIV. And like, I'm like, I just die over them. It's so cute.
SIV is one of my kids' favorites. So.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. I literally do love those. Like I like just re-listen to them. I'm like, oh, it's so cute.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then, so tell me a little bit about like what drew you to SIV, as far as I know you were looking for something for eczema. Were you familiar with the role of the skin microbiome in eczema, or like, tell me about how you think about the skin microbiome in your practice?
No. So I would say in the last 18 months, I've kind of had like a crash course of like hyper focusing on like how the microbiome works and like in relation to our skin and just like why we need like homeostasis. And it does kind of tie into like how I research things for my son and his allergies too, because it's like at a baseline, we all only have so many cells that can do so many things. So if they're all focused on bringing all this inflammation and all these fine lines, acne, wrinkles, whatever it is, and they're not reproducing collagen, they're not strengthening those lipid layers or whatever, right? Like they can't be so many places at one time. And so I just kept noticing that like I was clearing acne, but it was getting like drier and other things. And to the point sometimes where I couldn't do like their next appointment. I didn't feel comfortable doing my regular protocol that I had been trained with because I felt like their skin barrier was not healthy enough. And so I had found like hydrating gels and like HA serums and things like that, but I just felt like it wasn't quite like doing the job. And so when I came across SIV, yes, I did start with it for like eczema, but once I started working it in for my acne clients, I was just blown away because we were able to still like go heavy in the treatment room as far as like what we were doing. Like I do still like light to moderate peels. So like nobody's walking out with like snake-like skin, or they can't go out for like 2 weeks or anything like that. Within a few hours, they're going to be back to their actives and all those things, just because I want them to get back to their normal routine as soon as possible. And it also allows me to be able to see them a little bit more frequently in the beginning, so that hopefully I just see them every 4 to 6 weeks eventually. But I felt like bringing on SIV in the treatment room, but also in their home care, really allowed me to do that, so that we didn't have to kind of pause our treatment plan, and we could still keep them on like that same level of actives without compromising and making them too red, too dry, or anything like that. And kind of just, I don't know, it just allowed all of the tools we were already using to just work even better. So
I love that. That's a running theme on this show is like, it's so interesting now that SIV is out in the market and the way that I'm seeing it interact in the market and with people's skin. It's like this leaky skin idea where the microbes are really eroding the barrier. It's so prevalent and we just never had a name for it. We didn't necessarily realize that what was going on. And you're right. Like as we are kind of stripping the skin or doing these exfoliating, services and things like that, it really does affect the skin microbiome a lot. As our skin kind of replenishes, our skin cells know how to reproduce rapidly, but the microbes don't necessarily. And so for every skin cell we lose, we also lose microbes in that. And so when you're thinking about accelerating skin cell turnover, you're also accelerating the loss of then some of these microbes on the skin, which will lead to dysbiosis, which leads to then reactivity, right? Because all of our immune function and this reactivity is controlled by these microbes. And so it's just been so interesting to see how SIV plays in that landscape of compromised skin and repairing compromised skin and then making the skin more resilient and kind of allowing these other products, like you said, to work even better. So I think that's perfect. Love it.
That's awesome.
And on that vein of, repairing and some of the amazing results that you're seeing, you have allowed us to share a couple amazing before and afters. So I am going to share my screen. So this is an amazing transformation here. And I cannot wait to hear, because 120 days. So you really worked on this client. And I can imagine it was a difficult client to probably treat. There was probably lots of ups and downs. Over the course of that time, because as we know, repairing the skin is not linear. It's not just a straight up battle or down battle, right? It's up and down. So walk us through a little bit about what were some of the treatment protocols? What were you doing in the treatment room? Tell me about her home care routine, and then how did SIV kind of help out with all of this?
Yeah, so I take a pretty extensive and kind of as holistic as I can without really getting into like dietitian and other things. I do still recommend some supplements, but I always try to work with medical providers. And as always, remind people I'm not a doctor. So I'm like, we need to work with things. And I really only recommend a handful of things that I've seen results with and that I know that are studies. Anyway, with this client here, she's kind of near and dear to my heart. She had been on and off Accutane 3 times. They had to pull her out of her schooling and like, she had to get on like this specialized probiotic. And like, you could just feel like when you're an esthetician and we are treating your skin, like we can just feel that energy. And like, it just felt like sad. Like I just wanted to like give her a hug. And like, every time I was like doing treatments on her, like, I just like felt, oh, I just want to like heal you because you have so much like potential. And I know you can be so happy. And like, you can kind of even see in these 2 pictures, like she just looks more like relaxed on the right-hand side and just like, okay, like I can go on with life. And on the left side, it's kind of just like, she just felt like heavy. And so with her home care, we still stuck really gentle. So she was on a creamy cleanser and a toner, both from Base Reality. And then we just stuck with a really low level Mandelic. So in these photos, she was actually only on a 5% Mandelic. And then I only had her on SIV once a day. On treatment days, she technically did get it twice a day, once from me and then once later in the evening. And then just a really mild, we did a aloe-based moisturizer and just a sunscreen. So she did have 6 treatments. And when anyone in my acne program, it's a combination of full face extractions. We are doing mild peels, and I do a long steam is a hot take, but I do a lot of steaming because most people are coming to me for full face extractions. And so I try not to cause as much inflammation as possible, but obviously because we are, taking things out, there is going to be some residual redness and things like that. And so SIV in my treatment protocol has made a huge difference with that. I also do LED light therapy. We do cold rolling. I don't think she actually did icing in her home care routine, but that was like something that was recommended that she could do. And then we actually just had her, I just put her on a zinc that she took daily as well. And she talked that over with her nutritionist that she was working with. And she was on a custom tailored probiotic that they literally made specifically for her. So I had no like anything really with her supplements or anything like that. But yeah, this was across 6 treatments. So the photo on the right is before the 6th is before her 7th treatment. So we did about 7 treatments total, and then she went off to college. But yeah, that's kind of how we take it. And I guess like protocol wise, when you're coming to see me, she's one of my longer clients. So her appointments were usually about 2 hours, which I know is a long time, but I do find that it's the most effective way for me to kind of help clear acne is to extract everything we can. I am really mindful of watching body language and seeing kind of how everybody is. I obviously don't want to like scar anyone, and I'm always kind of checking in like, hey, are you still okay? And extraction methods and techniques are very important too. I was really lucky and mentored under an amazing facialist that has been working for 40 plus years and specialized in extractions. And so that's kind of where I took. I obviously am not near her level, but we got a few years under my belt, and yeah, so it's going really well. And okay, so with the protocol, we are doing enzymes, and that's going to have a steaming effect with it too. And that's kind of our cleansing that we're doing. And that's going to get us ready for extractions. And before I do the extractions, we usually do a combination of a peel, and those are going to be hydrating, superficial peels still, but we're still getting a little bit of TCA. Generally speaking, I do have one that's pregnancy safe too that I can use. And then post extractions, we always do a cold roll with a hydrating mask of some sort and red light therapy. So I kind of try to end every appointment with that healing connection, I guess, like so that we have a positive association and you're not just like leaving me like I just extract hundreds of things out of your skin. But
just red and inflamed and in pain. Yeah. I love the cooling aspect of it too. I mean, that's got to feel so nice. I know after I do extractions too, I like to get a little cold on the skin, kind of cool it down there. And of course, SIV, right? Keep the inflammation down. I can't believe, so what warms my heart about this story is not only your attention to the way that she's feeling and making sure that she's okay, really being in tune with the body language. I think that's so important when you're practicing, seeing everybody's body language and how they're responding to things, where their kind of head is at. But also, I didn't realize that she was on Accutane so many times. And I can only imagine how like disheartening that was for her to have to go through all of that 3 separate times and then still end up with acne. And she's probably like, dude, I can't do this. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that she found you and that you were able to develop this protocol for her. And what also strikes me is how gentle the home care is. So you were really focusing on nourishing, where a lot of people might really go hard on exfoliating or dripping. And, I think your approach was obviously correct in the sense that you got this amazing result. But, that's a good reminder to people to, sometimes if something's not working, if you're exfoliating and it's not working, it could be you're treating the wrong thing. It's the wrong problem. You're actually making it worse in some cases. So I love your approach in that aspect as well. So
thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So for her home care, we were really gentle. The active that she used the most was going to be a mandelic serum. It was actually at a 5%. I did have her on a benzoyl peroxide. That was just 2 to 3 times a week. We didn't incorporate that for about 3 weeks, I would say. And also she wasn't as diligent about that one in particular. So I know it didn't get used as much as I have in the past. So just wanted to notate that it was there in the protocol, but not as frequently. So mandelic and SIV, I definitely think were my biggest game changers in home care for her.
Cool. Love it. All right. And then we also have another amazing before and after that I can't wait for the people to see. This one also blows my mind because the time frame. Are you kidding me? 24 hours?
Yeah, I was gonna say you should see like my text conversation with this cute mom. I like literally was like, what? Like this is literally just from like now? Like what is going on? And she was like, yeah. Like I was like, that is absolutely wild. So
how old is this patient? And then give me like, do they have a history of eczema? Is this something that they've been battling with? Yeah, give me the rundown.
Yeah, so this cute little baby arm, you can kind of see that little baby arm. I believe he just turned 1. So he just turned 1. She did tell me they think he has a milk allergy and that he has kind of battled with eczema and things like that. But he actually got, I think, RSV and he had to be in the hospital. So that definitely like exacerbated it just with dry air and constantly getting wiped down with alcohol to, stick testing needles in and do the blood work and all that stuff too. So she did tell me, she's like, it's especially like flared up like right now. And she was already using like Aveeno eczema cream and like the oatmeal cream. She had tried Aquaphor and like a Eucerin as well. So it's like, that's kind of like the general protocol for like most pediatricians or dermatologists even to kind of, and like, honestly, that's kind of what I used too before I became an esthetician and kind of did my own thing too. But what I had her do, I was like, you know what? Just try it after he bathes to do this. And I also, with my eczema and rashes and things like that, particularly eczema in kids, I kind of go through like lifestyle things too. She didn't adjust obviously any of these things, but I do talk about like making sure you're not wearing shoes in the house. If your child is going down for a nap, changing their clothes, if they've been outside, like that dust and that dander just really exacerbates that mite that causes that eczema too. So I kind of go over with those things, and I love to do that with clients to just make sure I'm setting them up for like a manager. I want people to manage their skin, right? Like they need to know that like they may not be able to cure it, but you're going to be able to manage it. And so, yeah, she did one application of the SIV, and then she also did Glymed Cell Protection Balm right on top. And yeah, I was going to say babies sleep usually for like 12 to 16 hours. So we definitely have that like working in our favor, but I was blown away because it was by far, I've been working with SIV for over a year now. And I'm like, this is by far the most like dramatic, like transformation I've seen. So, and she was so grateful and was just like, thank you so, so much. Like this is her first baby and she was so cute and it's just so worrisome as a mom. So it's nice to have kind of something in your arsenal that you can offer for moms.
Absolutely. I particularly love this one. Yes, because it is a baby. And you're right, there's only so many things you can kind of offer to them. And it's so worrisome as a mom. I used to work in pediatrics. That was my like kind of before my lifetime before this, I was going in and out of pediatricians' offices, and eczema was such a huge problem. And like you almost feel worse for the parents because like the baby is uncomfortable. They don't know what to do. Everyone's upset. Like, and there is only so much that you can recommend and do. And so when we found that this was able to not only treat eczema, but be so effective in kids in such a short period of time, like that was, it always warms my heart to see those because it's like, oh my God, like this is just so amazing to be able to give them a tool. And we've seen a lot of success with the combination of SIV and Cell Protection Balm. So for anyone listening out there, if you're struggling with eczema and you're looking for a pairing with SIV, which I do often recommend to pair this with something that's more focused on the barrier, because again, SIV is always working on those microbes. So indirectly, it's going to be affecting the barrier and improving the barrier, but it's really helping all of those other products to work better, to your point in the beginning here. So yeah, this is such an inspiring, incredible transformation. I'm so happy that it made her happy and put at ease, and it worked so fast. And yeah, thanks for sharing it with her because
yes, thank you.
She never would have found it without you.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, awesome. So as we wrap up here, I always ask everybody, you know what's coming, what is an industry hot take of yours? So something that you agree with that maybe the industry doesn't, or vice versa.
Okay, so I do feel like we're seeing like a shift in the industry where like some of the things that were hot takes are becoming like more like people are like kind of on board with it. So as I was thinking about this question, I feel like I'm a stickler for toners. And I do feel like the industry in general is like, you don't need a toner. Like this is all pH balanced cleansers, which is fine and great. And no, you don't need a toner, but I do find that picking the right toner for the right purpose can be so beneficial for your skin concerns, whether it's acne or just in general aging or things like that. And so I love toners, and they're generally something that almost each one of my clients are on either way. So,
okay. I love this hot take. This is something that I've not heard before. So is your hot take that like toners are slept on in the industry, that like,
yeah, like people think you don't need them and people don't like to have them, or like they're not usually recommended. Like if you see like a new face line, like there's oftentimes not a toner. And I feel like they are one of the most like slept on like things that can like really make a difference, just because I feel like, and I love to apply it with an actual like cotton round if possible. Obviously, like super inflamed cases, we got to be really careful and mild and case by case basis, but like I think it's super beneficial to get just a really mild, gentle exfoliation from a toner, and you can pick the right one, whether it's a moisturizing one or something a little bit more exfoliating or something like that too. So
okay, I love that. And if you're willing to share, what are some of your favorite go-to toners? Do you have any off the top of your head?
yes. So right now I have been loving the Marie Veronique Hypotonic toner. That's a favorite one. It is, if you are new to Marie Veronique though, some people may not love it, but I don't know, it really grows on you. I didn't think I was going to love a toner like that, but the other one that is kind of one of my go-tos is the Face Reality Moisture Balance toner, and probably the Sal C toner from them. Those are probably my three most that I use, but especially the Face Reality ones, just because my clientele, and usually when people are coming in for kind of extensive treatment plans, we really need to like buckle down on budget friendly things too. And so they really kind of bang for your buck. I feel like you can do quite a few things with those, whether it's moisturizing or a little bit exfoliating.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you, Alexis, so much. Where can people find you? Are you doing virtuals? How do they book with you? All the information will also be linked, you guys, in the description of the show here. So make sure you check everything out. But yeah, go ahead and plug yourself here. So Instagram, all the things.
Awesome. My Instagram, I'm on stories a lot more than I'm actually posting, but you can find me at alexisang.com as well. I do virtuals as well. And then I have a treatment room here in Vineyard, Utah. So it's in Utah County. And if you do want to come see me, I do in-person treatments as well.
Fantastic. Okay. Thanks, Alexis. Oh my gosh. Such a good episode. All
right. It was so fun to talk to you.
Talk to everybody next time.
Bye.